Are we on? Are we on? He's got his legs out. It's a solid 5 months since I actually YouTubed. I'm going to talk about my ADHD diagnosis. And I'm doing this at a point where, on a day where my brain feels like it's operating at its worst, which I think is important. My head's like an absolute shed at the minute. This is going to be forgetting my train of thought. It's going to be whittering on about a point that might not make much sense. At points, we are it being fucking boring. But if it's frustrating and you watch it and think, why are you even bothering with this? Like, everybody forgets stuff. This isn't for you. This is for me a year ago. That's intense, isn't it? But this is for me a year ago. I also think it's kind of for me now. And like, it feels a little bit like an elephant in the room. Does this? I've not been on YouTube for 5 months now. Yeah, and the last video I uploaded were one of my depletion days prior to the photo shoot. And at that point, my head kind of just fucking imploded. The mad thing is, like, I filmed everything. I filmed the rest of the week. I went on to run a random marathon 2 or 3 weeks after that, just from his front door, just because I wanted to prove that I could. Filmed that. I got my ADHD diagnosis a week after that. We then went away. I then had a load of issues with my jaw and my teeth. I've had to have a bone graft in my jaw. We've been on holiday. I filmed some of that to vlog that. Never uploaded it. And that kind of leads us to today. It's Thursday, 7th of May, and YouTube's back. Do you know what? Let me elaborate on that. I think I'm making this for lads like me who'd always talk themselves out of taking it a step further. I want to give you the insights that I had that made me think maybe I do have ADHD, maybe this isn't something I'm making up, how I got to that point, what life had been like before it, and then what I did to take it one step further. Hopefully this then becomes the beginning of a reign of YouTube that I find manageable, which has become a big thing. I love doing this, but I think I've just, I've tried to overdo it. And again, because brain, go all in when something's fresh. Right, when I'm excited about it, I'll do everything. I'll spend hours every week doing it. And then the bleak reality is that I can't actually keep that up. My head's burnt out. I've quit. And I don't want to be that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not a quitter. But I have to find a better way to do this. Not a wet wipe, and this isn't a woe is me kind of episode or kind of fucking cry for help. Right, but I'm gonna be honest within it, because I don't think we see enough of it. What am I even fucking saying? This isn't I have ADHD and I expect world to do me favours kind of thing. I think if anything it's opposite, and I'm coming to learn that it impacts me a lot day to day, and I haven't spoke about it, and I tend not to speak about it, but I need to. I am a get on with it and find a way to make shit work kind of guy. Anyway, I do keep forgetting what I'm on about and order, and this is fucking it. Should we go back in time? Let's go back in time, eh? Oh, you bastard. I don't think it makes much sense. Do you want a brew? She'll have a brew. You remember stuff that I said I struggled with when I was a kid? Because that's what I'm talking about to YouTube right now. Listening, it were more that it would getting distracted by other people at school. That,
listening,
yeah, that had come up in every school report. Paul's quite bright, but he also struggles to focus. He's easily distracted every year. Yeah, man. Leg tapping. I'd sit at dinner table and it'd always be keep still. Face pulling. Went to doctors a good few times, you know, over face pulling. Yeah, I do them now. I don't know if you've noticed YouTube, but touch my mouth, touch my nose a lot. What else do I do? Yeah, I don't even know that I do that either. So my big ones, right? And hard thing what? And again, do you mind? I'm talking. Yeah, man. Well, maybe that's just an itch. I was just about to say how my mum and dad would take piss out of me for doing it, and I'm fucking married to one of them as well. Christ. So part of issue with me not believing I had this was other people not believing in it when I was younger.
Not believing is also very annoying.
Twitches, right, I think the first one were this. I'd twitch my nose up and down like a rabbit, like Jem says. The most fucking obvious one. Have I showed you this one? Like that. This. And for life of me could not stop. And if I did a few, it built up. A little bit like it's a little bit like a Tourette's tic, that, isn't it? Like it were almost, I don't know. I don't know if that's like energy flying out in a certain sense or discomfort now that I think about it as I'm older. But they took me to doctors about it. Doctors never picked up on any of that. Upstairs were a funny one. This is one of those where I'm going to do that. I think everybody does this thing. But I had to go upstairs 2 at a time and land on top step with my right foot. Do you do all like that?
Yeah, but I also do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So Jem's point might not stick with my point, might it there? So, I think a lot of stuff probably masked it when I was a kid, though. I'm happy to play out over and over and over and over and over again. Lot of sport. Very busy. Do you think it's my mum where some of this comes from? It's my mum cannot tell a story in a straight line. I can't. And funny thing with that is that I got really called out by a psychiatrist at my assessment over that. Said, I don't know if you've noticed this, but you never tell a story properly. Like fucking cheers. But she's not wrong. You might notice that with this story just now. I was aware that some of this shit was weird. I didn't know about the face pulling and any of that. Kind of hoped a doctor might have picked up on that maybe, but nobody did. So yeah, that were childhood. Very active. Odd little shit going on behind scenes that nobody could put the finger on. But also other stuff that I think I masked and didn't say because I was well aware that it were weird. And then I suppose coming into my teens and towards college and uni were where it hit another level. What are party rings? For the, yeah man, 91 for those of you that are dieting right now or just want a lower calorie option for a cheeky little snack, because that should be what you're doing if you're in a muscle building phase like me. Now my teens were a funny time, you know, because I think I got very good at hiding a lot of the sort of like struggles that I had around it. In school I were always floating around top sets. And there's levels of some stuff that I was doing and feeling and behaviours that I knew were a little bit weird that I just try to get on with, or I try to drag my way through stuff as well. I'm going to tell you a weird one that's carried on to now though. I don't think the nose thing had stopped. A lot of that hadn't stopped, but I was balls deep in sport at this point. I'm swimming at eye level, so swimming 5 nights a week. 3 mornings a week, playing rugby 3 days a week, then playing football and rugby through school. So there's still a lot going on physically, which I think, again, it's a really good outlet. I still love that now, by the way. But as time goes by and as I'm getting a bit older, I start to lose myself a bit. I've only just noticed this recently, that there's a point around my teens where I started to find it hard to interact in certain situations, which is weird. Like, I were always quite a confident lad and didn't really give a shit too much. And almost like would be out there. And then there's a point in my teens where it were almost like my brain would stop knowing how to function around certain people in certain groups in certain situations. And I still feel that nowadays at points. I had a really weird phase where I couldn't sleep. The only place I could sleep comfortably, see this wedge here between radiator and table, it'd be about 2-3 in the morning and I've been in bed for, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours, and the only place I could get comfortable were in that gap. In that gap, I remember waking up in the morning having not slept well, going to school, nodding off on way to school and shit like that, tapping my feet at table. If I'm sitting on floor, I'm fucking moving around endlessly. And again, they're all just like, all right, stop tapping like that. Do you have to do that? And nobody around me knew any better or any different. So it's not like, oh, this is on them. It's just like, now looking back, I can see it all. Went to college, went to uni, dropped out of uni because I couldn't take information in. This were the start of me starting to go, I feel fucking stupid at the minute. And I still struggle to learn even now. I've tried to get into more formal learning at points and really found it tough and not knowing why. Teachers going through stuff, and I vividly remember sitting there thinking, why can't I fucking remember what you said four words ago? And now I get it. I then ended up falling heavily into partying and being ridiculous with how many hours I'd stay up on a night, on a weekend, what I'd drink, take, do. It wasn't normal. Going out and giving it some welly was that one thing I knew I could control. It changed the feeling as well. It helped me become a version of me that I kind of thought I might have wanted to be, and to stop thinking about other stuff, which is full on, innit, when you think about it as an adult. I suppose I look at these things now when I want to make sure that we can be there for Max. I think we're a more informed generation, aren't we, which is nice, and hopefully chats like this with some of you guys help you see that that's you, for you, that I actually came into this, here we go, flip-flopping, see me not telling a story straight, but I actually ended up taking this a bit more seriously because we looked into a diagnosis for Max, and I'm like, that's me, that was me. And it were one drunk night when me and Jem were out on a date night where I said to Jem, I don't know if I'm making this up, but I think all of these things that we're talking about Max going through and struggling with and presenting, like, I think that's me. That started it. But again, obviously before that, I've dropped out of uni. I've never managed to really hold jobs down unless I worked with my dad, which I really enjoyed on printing machines, or unless I did. I got into this because I'm very passionate about it. I loved learning about it. I loved applying it. I love the outcomes that it can have for me, and I wanted to be like, I can do this for you. And then you don't have to go through the struggles that I went through with this, right? That's why I got into this. But really had to drag my way through my brain fart. Really had to drag my way through my qualifications and change a lot. So yeah, my teens were where the wheels fell off. I mean, I went to uni in Leeds but moved out, and then I just kind of lost a massive part of myself in doing that, which is full on. Look back now and I feel for that version of me because I don't think anybody got me, and I probably just looked like a mess and probably just looked like I didn't give a shit, and I don't think it were ever that. I just didn't know how to do better. Anything else? Right, everybody has like a bit of a party phase, I think. But the old job's down, they still go to the gym, they still eat well, they're still fucking respectable in a sense. I was really good at going out at that point, and I'd have a job for a few days, go out, sack it off, have a job for a few days, really struggle to get on with the routine of it, sack it off. And they're all things where, like, look, from an outside standpoint, I can see, like, why aren't you? You fucking got to do this. And I can see it now, you have to do that. But they just, I think I'd hidden a lot of who I were and how I felt. And it got to that point. Right, now adulthood. I'm going to go in and interrupt Jem, and I'm going to ask her to list things that she's noticed I struggle with now.
Yeah, ask me a less broad question. I'm not.
What have you noticed that I do that annoys you? Because, and I'll tell you why I'm asking you this question, because I noticed things that I did that impacted you and how I were around you and Max that are the reasons that I actually ended up taking this more seriously.
You make noise all the time.
Well, that ain't what I thought you were going to say, but yes.
But even when you think you're not making noise.
So I sniff and grunt.
All the time. Even when you sleep.
Yeah, man, not even that. It's not even the endless singing, the whistling, which Jem hates.
Whistling's banned.
Yeah, whistling's banned in our house, but whistling, singing, talking to myself, they're not even annoying ones. It's the endless noise.
How forgetful you are. That's endless.
Yeah. In what sense?
Can you
What do I forget?
This task?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to do it today.
Yeah.
Next day, can you do this task? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do it today.
Yeah.
Week later. Did you do the task? No.
Yeah, man.
But it's not just little things.
Yeah.
That increases my mental load.
Yeah, man. This, though.
You can function on disorder.
Yeah, man. Logistics and planning overwhelms me a lot.
You are accidentally very selfish. Because there were so many things over a few weeks that you've done and thought about yourself first and nobody else.
Yeah.
But it were over and over and over and over. Even things like me ringing you when I were on my way home from work and you were already cooking yours and Max's tea, but not thought about me because I wasn't here.
Yeah. And that were one of the things that made me want to take this seriously, though, because I can't keep doing that. Bit embarrassed about that, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not who I want to be. No, I don't mean you've had a dig at me, because it's all true.
No, that's not what we're going to say, because it is all true, but don't take it back.
Yeah.
Like, it's not things that, like, I'm being mean about, it's just what to do.
Yeah, man.
But then when you ask me for a list, I've then got to literally go through every single little thing.
I'm not putting this in there, but I only wanted you to tell a fucking list, and you've come in and opened me up. I'm going to put that in, actually, because you've steamed in and you're just tearing me a new arsehole, and I just wanted a list of like a fucking 30-second list of stuff that I might do. Oh, you make noises, you leave your socks around, I don't know, you fucking
you
forgetful.
Stuff and don't put them back.
You have about 8 cupboards open when you cook. What else? You've got 14 different coffee cups in your room. But no, you're a shit person who don't know what he's doing. She's annoying.
I am annoying.
Me too, though. I fucking must be a pain to live with sometimes.
That I am a pain to live with.
Yeah. But yeah. I can be messy. I am messy.
Much better.
I'm loads better. But like I said, like my point was, I sometimes just need to be told that that's what I do, and I go, okay, that ain't okay, let me do better. Do you know what I mean? I'm not asking for lists. I mean, we've had a lot of chats over years about how I am. Without us even getting to this point. It's only last year that this has been like, oh, that's fucking ADHD. Over years, that there's been a lot of it that's been said, and again, it just be like, oh, find that really hard. And it won't really, they want a light shone in it, whether. I just reckon, right, that I could do better. And that's it. It's not that I don't like myself, it's that I think I'm capable of more, and I think these guys can get a better version of me. And Why wouldn't we want that? Why not? Long story short, currently Ed's a shed. I'm in one of these phases where I've gone, whoa, I'm doing really fucking well with my work stuff. I'm feeling super on it. And my goals are flying, and then boom, a bit of an energy dump, struggle mentally, feel a little bit like I've lost myself. This has actually been really fucking helpful. But from a kid, it's been a slow burner, right? There's probably been underlying stuff that's built up and built up and built up over years. I've masked some of it. People around me haven't picked up on it. I've burnt bridges, I've been a bit of a tit, I've found myself within all of that still. We've had a baby, I've become a dad. I've realised that I have to give them guys, let me move this closer. I've realised that I have to give them guys the best version of me, whilst I'm also building a business that I want to grow to levels that I don't even think I could have imagined it growing to when I got into it. And I'm at this point now where 1 year ago, I decided, right, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to look for a diagnosis, which again, didn't have to. I think you get a lot of people like, I'm okay with this, I'm managing it well, I don't need answers. That's cool, but I wasn't managing it well. I needed to take it a step further. And a year ago, I decided to get them wheels in motion. It took a fucking load of energy to get this done. It's the least ADHD friendly process ever. Lots of forms to fill in, lots of stuff to read through and get to grips with, and I really could not get my head around a lot of it. I had Gem help me, I had doctors help me. I went through right to choose rather than NHS or paying for private. I'd imagine paying for private is fucking much quicker, but I went through right to choose. I had Gem help me. Rich, one of my clients, I had him fucking hold me accountable at one point. He was like, have you sorted form out? I was like, no, I've not. I was like, I'll get it done by Friday and I'll let you know. Accountability is big for us, by the way. And from that point then, there were a little bit of a cock up with an appointment or something. I can't remember what. It's weird, like my sense of time and time frames is all over the shop. I can remember mad memories from when I was a kid, really vivid. And then there's points between like 2005 to now where I couldn't tell you what year it was, how old I was, what had gone on. Certain stuff I'm imagining happening years ago and it happened sooner. It's fucking really weird. But I can't remember what happened, but it was so long and drawn out. There were a period of time where I had forms filled in, they sat on my desk for 6 months, didn't do anything with them. Until eventually I pushed on, took it more seriously. December I had my assessment. That were an absolute eye-opener. It was like a therapy session in itself, and I might have said this already earlier, brain fart, but it made me realise that I probably could look at therapy as another tool to help me get to grips with this, because just somebody explaining stuff from years gone by made me go, whoa, shit, that's mad. Like the element of leaving school, going to college, going to uni, and then wheels falling off and me really feeling like I lost myself. The psychiatrists were like, well, because nothing then were forced. There were no element of danger if you didn't go into uni. Right? Fine, and that were it. And I was like, fuck, you're right. Like, living at home, getting told off if I don't do any of that when I'm not at home. Who cares? It's only going to impact me. But then I'd said I don't want meds that I have to have every day. If anything, like I don't necessarily need them every week, because I really struggle in the weeks where my head's a shed, like now. And if I can manage them better, everything will be sound. I like who I am, right? I like the version of me that's spontaneous, chats shit, fucking silly goose, happy to play out, like is random. I love that element of me, and I'd like to think that lads that I coach come to me because they see that in me and they're all a little bit like that too. Don't take life too seriously. But in that same breath, like, if I can focus on my work a lot more clearly, if I can be a little bit more present then, which helps me be more present at home, if I'm a little bit less fucking loose and I can remember stuff a little bit more and do better with logistics, then hopefully that can have a positive impact across board. Thankfully, there's some kind of stimulant that you can take on a few days a week. So that's what I'm waiting for now. That were in December. It's now May. There's no sign of that coming. I've just had to send blood pressures off a month or two ago. Blood pressure for over a couple of days, I think it was. From now, I think it's just a waiting game. So there's two types of ADHD. There's the inattentive, there's the hyperactive, and they kind of mark you on both of them, right? So she's watching you, talking to you, and I got 9 out of 9 on the inattentive, 8 out of 9 on the hyperactive. So absolutely aced it. It's first test I've done that well on in a long time. But yeah, from that point on, I think it's a weird one because it feels a little bit like I'm in a limbo, just floating in limbo. What I'm waiting for meds, will they fix stuff? And it's not that I need it fixing, but you might get me. Like I'm waiting for meds, but then there's days where I'm like, this is forever, and it would have been forever anyway, wouldn't it? You know, like I know it's forever. This is who I am, but like it's. I'm trying to be as honest as I can with this, and I don't think I fully understand it yet. But it is a really weird feeling, knowing that there is an issue and your brain doesn't work like a normal brain would, even though you feel fucking normal. And like, you know, it's not that I'm not normal, but you get me, like my brain doesn't work like a normal brain would, and coming to terms with that is odd. And I think, I don't know, I still don't quite know where I stand with it all and with how I feel and with what I want from it. And it is like brilliant having an answer, but in that same breath, I do feel a bit lost, like I'm waiting for something. The good thing, knowing that this is how I am and this is what's going on, is that I can positively act on it. I'm going to try to take meditation back up. I'm going to try and use Headspace, because in past when I've used that, I've been able to see and think a bit clearly. I'm going to be, Jem always tells me to be a little bit like kinder with myself and needing downtime after doing big stuff, or having like big thought, like in-depth thought stuff, or just on moments where I feel like my head's gone. I feel like I need to keep pushing and keep grafting, which we do. But in that moment, often it does me more harm than good. And I should just go, okay, today, ease off, find something else to do, come back to it later. This fucking cow's got a better idea of how I should end this. So, with this, if you're watching this and you've been through this, tell me how you found it, right? Tell me how you found like the whole journey. If you're watching this and you may be at a point before me, you're like, I've been questioning this. Like, you've got a question, I'm all ears. Like I said, I'm not a fucking doctor or a psychiatrist. I'm not somebody that you should be taking medical advice from or mental health advice like that, because it's not my scope. I help lads get absolutely rigged up and do it all around the kids. But this is my experience, and that's kind of what we're here for, innit? I love seeing other people's experiences, and I think if it can make you feel a little bit more confident in where you're at, I've won. So please pop a like on this if you've watched it all the way through. If you're not subscribing already, do subscribe. I'm actually going to work my way through the backlog of videos that I've got ready to post. So in true ADHD fashion, I'm going to rattle some shit out over the next few weeks. You're going to see the actual photo shoot. You're going to see the rest of peak week into photo shoot. You're going to see the random marathon. You're going to see our holiday to Tenerife. And from that point on, I'm going to move into some new fitness content with some new lifestyle content. So please make sure you've turned notifications on. And yeah man, thanks for being here.